Hey guys, what's poppin'? My name is Nick and I'm going to be showing you today how to make a lit personal website in about 20 minutes with no coding experience at all. So why is having a personal resume website important? Well, because of two main reasons. Number one, personal branding. It's a way that you can really show off what projects you're doing, whether you're an influencer, you're self-employed, or really just want to get your name out there. Second of all, because of CV and employment reasons. The job market today is so competitive that you really want anything that can really up your game. It makes you look tech savvy, it makes you look like you know what you're doing, and you know how to present yourself. It's really easy to do, you don't need any coding experience, and it's just going to be using a website called GitHub. Now, you might be asking yourself, what is GitHub? Well, GitHub is basically like the Google Drive, but for coding. I use this personally for the past 4 years to store my code somewhere for free. 50 million developers are using it, and it's very common to just store your code in one place. Now, if you've never used GitHub, congratulations, you probably have a very good social life. But don't worry, I'll be showing you step by step how to use it, and we're gonna make a new account. Now, this is my website template, and we'll be copying it and customizing it with your content and styling it to making it your own. For example, for this video, I'll be customizing it for my friend Jay, and as you can see, it shows off all his work in such an elegant and unique way. Now, I know at this point you might be asking, why do we need a template? Well, firstly, because it takes so much time to make it yourself. It took me months really to just adapt this, and nobody else is using it, so in 20 minutes from now, you can really say you have your own personal website in much less time. Secondly, because it's much less tacky than some of those WordPress and Squarespace ones that everyone knows what they look like. And thirdly, because you get experience with some of these key coding tools. GitHub is used by almost all coding projects. You'll get to see some parts of the code, and you'll even be able to expand on these in the future. Now, as a quick run through of the website, here's the header with a picture, your name, and a description of what you do. Then if we come down, there's a section which you can customize. I put my recent projects, and you can put it whatever you like, and cards on what those projects were. Similar section for work, but you can change to whatever you like, and cards about that. Research, but again, you can change this, and cards on the specific research I did. A resume section, a contact section, and then a bit of background. As you know, I've done quite a lot of changes to this template, but it is originally from Colorlib. I'm going to be making an adapted version of the template for my friend Jay. And firstly, let's just start with the ingredients that we'll need to make this delicious website. So number one is you'll need your resume on hand. Number two, some nice pictures of yourself so we can put at the top. And number three, some pictures or logos of the companies or projects that you've worked on in your site. So cool, let's start cooking. So step number one is making a GitHub user. If you're making one for the first time just for this website, I recommend having your username be something that you'd want to be in the website URL. So GitHub Pages allows us to host a website for free online. The only thing is we can't choose the URL, but that URL will be in the format of your username.github.io. And I'll do another tutorial on how to change this later, but it's not free anymore if you change the URL. Now just go to github.com and I'll see you there. Okay, so for our username, we're just going to type in Jay's awesome personal website. We're going to put our email in and then choose a password. Sweet, when we're done, we click the sign up button. And now to verify our account, we just have to make sure that this thing is properly facing down and click join a free plan. Now this is just some setup stuff if you want to go through it, but I'm just going to skip through and complete. And now it's going to ask us to verify our email. I won't show this part, but you basically just go to your email and click the verify link. Sweet, so when you click the verify link in your email, you should be taken to the following page and then just press skip this for now. And there you go, you've created your GitHub account. Step two is go to my personal website template project, and you can do this either by clicking the link here on this or in the description of this video, or simply by typing in ncarmont in the search bar and then click on my profile and click on the personal website template. Step number three, smash that star button. So the star button on GitHub is much like the thumbs up button on YouTube. So if you like this tutorial and you like that project on GitHub, smash that star button. Okay, that was optional. You don't actually have to do that if you hate this tutorial. Step number four, press the fork button. So what the fork button does is it creates a personal copy of my template and copies it as a project into your account. And so you'll be able to adjust this to make it onto your own website. So just press the fork button and it should add this to your profile. And we'll want to change the name of the template. Now it's as easy as this to make it deploy it online. You just have to change the name of the template by going to the settings, and on your copy of the template, change the name to your GitHub username in lowercase. Make sure it's in lowercase. So Jay's awesome personal website .github.io, and put it in lowercase and make sure it's .github.io. Once you press rename, it should put it online. So now if you go into the settings part, you go down, you have the URL, and congrats, you're now hosting a personal website. Note, however, that this might take a few minutes to load, so just be patient and reload the website a couple minutes later. The only thing now is that this website, it's mine. So let's change it now to be yours. It's very simple. So step 6 is to go to the project, and once you've gotten into the project repo, so your copy of the template, you want to go down and find a file that says index.html. Now, this is basically the file that contains all the content of the website. And so now we just want to make sure that we change the content to be from my content to your content. So what you want to do is click on the top right, you'll see a little pencil button, which is the edit button. And you just want to hit that edit button, and that should allow you to edit. Okay, so now we want to do two things that were here. Number one, we want to change any of the content that says any of the projects I've done or my name or my information to your information. And secondly, delete any information that's mine and won't be relevant to your website. So the way I've structured it is that it's all the content, you don't have to actually code. It's in this data structure called a JSON object. And basically what it allows you to do is change the values of the different fields, such as you change your name. I'll change name from Nicholas to Jay. I'll change the phone number. And if you scroll down to the cards, you can see that these are the different sections of the website. So as you can see, each one of these small things captured in curly braces is a card. And as you can see here, this one that has the name of Net Zero corresponds to this card under my recent projects. And as you can see, above this, it says the section title is recent projects. And likewise, we can see the one just below corresponds to another card, and this time it says Master UK, and it corresponds to another one of my recent projects. Now you can change this to your own, and I'll be showing you just how. Now what's cool about this is I've made it dynamic, so you can take away cards if you need less. You can put more cards if you need. You can take away sections of the website if you want, such as there's a project section, there's a work section, and you can change each one. And if you have 2 sections instead of 3, you can just delete the third one or add one, which is really cool and makes it a lot more scalable. And I thought was a good way to make the color lib template flexible for anyone to use. Now, first things first, let's just change the content. So as I said, change the name, change the last name, and I'll go explaining more specifically what we're changing. And if we want to delete anything, just make sure that it leaves empty quotation marks. So quotation marks with nothing inside, and that's how you leave it empty if you don't need that. Now I'm just going to go through fast motion of editing the content. And once we're done filling in the content, we want to go to the sections part of the website. The sections part contains all the different sections of the website, such as in mine, I have my recent projects, I have my work experience, and my research. But you can change this to be whatever you like and add or delete sections as you like. And each section contains cards. And so we're going to be editing each one according to what sections we want to display and what cards we want for every section. Now, every section has the same structure, and all the cards have the same structure, so you can copy paste them. So Jay told me he wanted 3 sections of his website, one for work, one for startups experience, and one for awards. So I'm going to be editing in fast motion, just editing each section, the section title, emoji, and description, and then the cards for each section. So for example, for the work experience, he worked at Boston Consulting Group and at AV Commercial, so I'll just be filling in the information there. And the images I'll just set to a empty quote marks and empty quote marks for the URL as well. Note that it's very easy to delete whole sections if you want less sections, and also cards. So you just make sure that you delete the brackets surrounding the name, image, URL, description, and subdescription. If you delete that whole thing, you delete a card. And if you want to add a card, you can just copy paste that and then change the content. And similarly with a section. Now I'll just go into very fast motion editing just to help out. You can look at this if you need help, but it'll be quick. Now when you feel you've done a few changes, go to the bottom of this and you'll see a commit button. You can press commit changes and this should save your work up to there. Once that's done, it should be saved and we can go back to editing by clicking on the edit button and continuing to edit the content. Now, one thing that you might find if you have any errors, the most likely thing is that it's not formatted properly. And this might happen because a quote mark isn't closed properly, because one of the curly brace doesn't have an end, like a curly brace that closes it, or there's a missing comma after a certain curly brace. So you just want to double check, use my project for reference, and make sure that that's all right. That's probably the most likely way you're going to get an error. And we're going to delete some of the links to the images as well, because you don't want my images on your website. And now finally, once you've done your edits and you've double checked everything's okay, you want to go and at the very bottom of this website, click the commit button. What the commit button does is it does your edits and pushes it to the live website. Cool, so now if you go to your website, it might take a couple minutes to load, just give it some time. But if you go to that link that we saw previously, you should see these updates actually happening on the website. Cool, so once that's done, okay, now you have your own personal website with your own content, congrats. But now we want to spice it up and add some of your images, your own style, your own colors. So for step 7 of the tutorial, we prepare your profile image. Now the profile image is the one that's going to be shown on the header of the website. As you can see on mine, it's me during a presentation, but we want to change it to you and hopefully one that would look good kind of on the header and you're able to crop. Now don't worry, we're going to go through how to crop this. As here I have one of Jay's fantastic pictures, and we're going to be cropping it together. So to crop it, what you want to do is go to a website called LunaPic, and it's a website that easily lets us cut images out. So I'm just going to go there, upload the image, and go to their scissors tool, which lets you cut things out. I'm just going to trace the outside and make sure it's traced well, so we don't have any white spaces or anything. And then press that crop button. Then I'm just going to download it and have it on my desktop. Similarly, if you have a Mac, you can do this on preview, which is really good. You click the edit button and then the magic wand, and sometimes it can, or the lasso tool, and you can kind of edit it a bit more, which is really cool. Awesome, so now it's to step 8, adding these images to your website. You have the cropped image, and hopefully you have other images of the projects that you've done and you want on your cards. So to do this, all you have to do is go to that main project page of your new website template and click on the folder that says image. So this is going to be the images folder where we drag all our images in. Simply just drag all those images in. And press commit. Now it might complain if you put too many at a time, so you might have to drag in a couple in and then press commit, and a couple in and then press commit. And so once we have those images in, next we want to tell our website where we want these images placed. So we go back to that index.html file, which contains all the content of our website, and you see on each card there's an image field, and we just want to replace that with where our image is. So what you want to do is write image slash the name of that image. So I'm going to do this for Jay's website, as you can see now. And one important thing is to double check that the name of the image that you have put is the correct one. So one mistake that I had, for example, a couple times is that header image.png, but actually the type of the image was .jpeg. So you just really want to double check. You can do that even on your desktop by seeing the extension, and make sure that you copy that image name and have it correctly. Cool, so now we'll just fast forward and replace all the image names corresponding to all the cards that we dragged in. And also remember to change the header image up at the top in the content section and the contact image. Okay, cool. Now, once you press commit and you have all your images, you should wait a couple minutes and you should be able to see these live on your website, which is super sick. Cool, and now on to step 9. Now we want to change the color and the theme to really match what your style is. Obviously you can keep it as it is if you're happy with it, but if you want to make it look more innovative or more personal, you can change the theme. And now for this, I want you to go to the website called uigradients.com. I'll have the link here. It's also in the description if you want, but I'm just gonna type it in the URL so you can see. And uigradients.com has some beautiful color schemes and gradients that you can use. So what I usually do is when I do a project is I just swipe through these, and when I'm happy with them, I go to this copy CSS button at the top. And once I've made sure that copies basically the colors and the code for that, and once you're happy with that, you go back to our project, go to your website home, and go to back to that index.html file, which contains all our website content. You want to scroll down a bit. Once you click the edit button, scroll down a bit, and then you'll see a place where we have the color scheme. And basically this will apply it to the whole website. And all we want to do is edit that and paste in our new color scheme instead of the existing one. When we're done, we scroll down to the bottom and press commit. Now, wait a few minutes and this should update to our website and you can see the new live version. Awesome. So there you go. We have your live website with your color scheme, your new content and images. And now there's some kind of final tweaks which I've done to give you a bit more flexibility. So step number 10 is some final tweaks, but you don't have to do this if you don't want to. So some of the cool updates I've made is that you can actually let people download your resume if you want. So by default, I've set the download resume button to false. When people click that get your resume emailed, it lets them just email you and to ask for your resume. I did that because I didn't want to constantly have to update my resume on my website. But if you want people to let people download your resume, all you have to do is change that download field from false to true. And now we can just go down and press commit to save those changes and push them to the website. And then you want to drag your resume into the project and then update the index.html file of your resume to the name of your resume within the project. So cool. That's done. If you go to your website, you should have a download resume button that when you click download my resume, it downloads it. And one final thing that you can do is on that tab, you have an icon of the website. It's kind of ugly sometimes if it's just the default one, and it makes it seem less legit. So one cool thing is that you can make it into your initials. And the way I've done that is you just zoom in to those initials on the top of the screen. I just did a pinch on Mac, but you can also press Command and plus, and this lets you zoom in on the website. And what you'll want to do is take a screenshot of your initials. Now, we'll be using this as the logo on the tab header, And so just save that onto your desktop, rename it to appropriate name. Now I'll just drag the image into the image folder and press commit. Once it's dragged into that image folder, you go to your contents, your index.html, go into the contents, and change the appropriate field to instead link to that new image that you want there. Cool. Now if we press the commit button, everything should be there. You should have your finally have your personal website up and live on a URL on the internet. You are now Googleable, and you can now show this to employers and flex. Awesome, that's the tutorial for making your personal website. I hope you liked it. If you want more content like this, please ask what kind of content you'd like to see. And in the next tutorial, I'm gonna be showing you how to change the URL of this website to be something more personal. So I changed mine to be www.carmont.io, but you can change it to be kind of whatever you want. The only thing is that it's not free anymore. It's about 99 cents to $10, depending on what URL name you want. But yeah, I can show you that in the next tutorial. And then lastly, if you're having any errors with the website, with making the website, write it in the comment section down here so we can answer it. Awesome, I'd love to see your guys' personal websites, the themes that you've put, the kind of content and cards that you've used. So please send them to me or link them down in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next video.